So guys, with the NFL draft coming up in a couple days, I thought it'd be a good idea for me to do my own mock draft of the first round and just kind of give my thoughts on who I think every team's gonna pick. So yeah, let's do it. Alright guys, so we got this mock draft simulator all loaded up with every team, and kind of just like a preface, I actually recorded this entire video a couple days ago. I had it edited, I had it ready to upload, but the night before it was set to upload, the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the 10th overall pick. And as a Giants fan, personally, I'm actually stoked. I think we fleeced the Bengals. Dexter Lawrence is not worth a top 10 pick. He's coming off the worst season of his career, and there's no telling if he's going to get back to the level that he was. But that meant that I had to redo the entire mock draft because this shakes up everything. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. So number one, we got the Raiders. Now, the Raiders, this is not going to change. I think it's a lock that the Raiders will be taking Fernando Mendoza, so that doesn't really change anything. I mean, there's no way the Raiders are doing anything with the number one overall pick other than taking Fernando Mendoza, so don't really need to talk about that one too much. The Jets, I think it's, again, pretty unanimous that they will be taking Arvell Reese. Okay, next up for the Cardinals. The Cardinals need a lot of things, really. They need an alignment. They kind of need a running back. They do have Tyler Algier, so I don't think that they're going to take Jeremiah Love. They do need an edge rusher, so they could take David Bailey. And they do also need a quarterback, but there's no other quarterbacks worth taking at number 3. I actually think that they are going to take David Bailey with the 3rd overall pick. I don't even know who their edge rushers are. So that could be a huge bonus to their defense. I don't really know who their O-line is either, but I don't really think it was that big of a problem last year. So, like, they could go for an O-lineman in, like, the 2nd round or something. But for the Titans, I think it's pretty much unanimous by now that they are going to be the ones taking Jeremiah Love. Tony Pollard, he's getting old, and they need a suitable replacement. And Jeremiah Love is widely believed to be the best player talent-wise in this entire draft. So I think the Titans are getting a very good player in him, and that's who I think they're going to take. So here we have the Giants' first of 2 first-round picks. This changes a lot. Okay, so in my last mock draft that you guys aren't going to see, I had the Giants taking Caleb Downs. And they could still use Caleb Downs. Like, I'm not saying they couldn't use him now, but having 2 top 10 picks changes things a lot. Let's see, you could go so many things here. You could go Jordan Tyson, you could go Carnell Tate. Jordan Tyson has actually risen the boards a lot in the past week. But I think you could go either one. You could go Francis Malgoa. You could go Caleb Downs. You could go Sonny Styles. You could go Mansour Delane. You could even go Mekhi Lemon's higher than both of them now? What? Okay, but I think with the 5th overall pick, the Giants are going to take Sonny Styles, the Ohio State linebacker. They need a linebacker. Him and Tremaine Edmonds would be a good pair. And he can also play safety. And he can cover receivers really well. So I think you're just getting a 3-in-1 hybrid defender in Sonny Styles. So that's who I like. Next up, we got the Browns. The Browns need an O-lineman. They could take Malgoa. They could take anyone, basically. It'd be an upgrade. But who I think they're going to take, Mekhi Lemon is ranked the highest, but I don't think they're going to take him. I think that they're going to take Jordan Tyson. I do think they're going to take Jordan Tyson. He has risen the boards a lot. He does have injury history, but I think the Browns don't care. I think the Browns want to take him. They're willing to take a chance. And the Commanders, I think the Commanders are going to take Caleb Downs. They are in need in secondary. They're in need of a safety, so I think they're going to take Caleb Downs. Next up, we got the Saints. The Saints, they still need an offensive lineman. They need a corner. They need a wide receiver. They basically need everything, man. But I think the Saints are going to go with Mansour Delane for this one. I know I would have liked the Giants to get him, but I think the Saints are going to pick Mansour Delane because they are in need of serious corner help. And yeah, they just need to boost their defense, and Mansour Delane will prove that for him. Again, I'm like a casual when it comes to college football. I don't really watch it that much, so I don't know that much about these guys other than the analysts that I've heard from the past couple months. But next up we got the Chiefs. I think they're going to take edge Ruben Bain Jr. They're in need of edge rushers. I don't even know who their edge rushers are. But Ruben Bain Jr. will provide a big boost to their defense and hopefully make them into a playoff contender once again. But next up, we have the next Giants pick. Now, you could go a lot of options here. You could go Francis Mauigoa, Makai Lemon. They would not go Kenyon Sadiq because they have Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely. They would not go Kenyon Sadiq. Could go Carnell Tate. Could go Monroe Freeling. Could go Olave Vega Lone. Could go Jermon McCoy. Like, there's not a set thing to what they're going to pick. I think if it gets to this, I think they would take Carnell Tate. He's a big physical wide receiver. Give Jackson Dart another weapon. They could also go with an offensive lineman. I've heard that as well. But if we get into this scenario, I feel like the only two options would be Carnell Tate or Francis Mauigoa. I feel like those would be the only two options in this scenario, pick number 10. Hopefully, friggin' Mansour Delane and Caleb Downs and Jordan Tyson are all available at number 10. So we can just pick the best player available. But I think the Giants are going to go with Sonny Styles and then Carnell Tate. Get a defensive playmaker and then an offensive playmaker. I think that's the best scenario for the Giants. Next up, we have the Dolphins. The Dolphins need everything, basically. But I think they're going to go with Makai Lemon right here. They definitely need a wide receiver after releasing Tyreek Hill and trading Jalen Waddle. So they definitely need a wide receiver. So I don't think anyone would be upset at that pick. They're in a multi-year rebuild. So it's not like they're trying to win now. They're just trying to build up the roster and get Malik Willis some weapons because he gave away all of his. But next up, you got the Cowboys. The Cowboys need to boost their secondary. They also need an offensive tackle. I don't know how they need an offensive tackle, so I feel like they've taken offensive linemen every year in the first round, but that's just me. But you know what? They need an offensive tackle. They also need a corner. Their next pick is at pick number 20. I think they would take a corner. I think they would take Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. He did get injured, but I feel like he's the second best corner in this draft behind Mansour Delane. And the Cowboys definitely need to boost their secondary after being one of the worst defenses in the league. So I think they're going to take Jermod McCoy. Next up, we have the Rams. The Rams definitely do not need a wide receiver. I don't know why this is lying. But I think the Rams would just take Francis Mauigoa because you boosted your roster a lot. And now you're just in a position to take best player available. And the best player available is Francis Mauigoa. Now, do I think the first offensive lineman will be taken at pick number 13? I mean, there's a very real chance. But if we're going to be realistic, probably not. But I don't know, man. Anything could happen with this draft. I feel like picks 4 through 10 are just could go any way. I have it this set way, but picks 4 through 10 could go any combination of these players. Any combination of these players would be good for any team. The Chiefs could get any of these players and they would be happy, except for Jeremiah Love. The Giants could get any of these players and they would be happy. Any team could get any of these players and they would be happy. So I feel like this mock draft has the potential to be completely turned on its head, at least in the top 10. Next up, we have the Ravens. The Ravens need a wide receiver. On my last mock draft, I had Jordan Tyson falling all the way down to 14, being picked up by the Ravens. But there's no wide receiver anymore. So I don't know who the Ravens are gonna pick, man. Low key, I think they would just go Monroe Freeling because they do need an offensive lineman. And I think they would just go Monroe Freeling. He's the best offensive lineman available, so it doesn't really matter. The Buccaneers, I think this is the only pick. No, I doubt saying Jermon McCoy, but this is gonna be one of the only picks that does not change from my last mock draft. Actually, probably not. Just the top 10 is going to change. But I think the Bucks are going to take Kenyon Sadiq. They did re-sign Cade Otton, but Cade Otton, he's never looked like a starter to me. But I think the Bucks are going to take Kenyon Sadiq. Now the Jets are going to take Ty Simpson. Like, I don't know. Like, people are saying Ty Simpson could fall to 24 where the Browns would pick him up. But I think the Jets are going to take Ty Simpson with pick number 16. I don't think they're going to risk him falling any lower. Again, they could just tank for Arch Manning. They do have Geno Smith, so they could just let Ty Simpson sit behind Geno for a year. Because I don't think they're viewing Geno as their long-term answer to the quarterback position. But that's just my reasoning. Next up, we have the Lions. The Lions, I think, they need an offensive lineman. So I think they're going to take Caden Proctor with the 17th pick. Not a flashy pick by any means, but it's what they need. So good on them. Now the Vikings. Vikings need a lot of things, really. But they do need to boost their secondary a lot. They had a lot of guys leaving free agency, I think. So I think they're going to be the ones to take Dylan Thieneman, the second best safety in the draft behind Caleb Downs. And he will provide a boost for their secondary for the Vikings for sure. But next up, we have the Panthers. The Panthers need an offensive lineman. They also need a safety. They also need a tight end, but there's no other good tight ends. So I think they're going to go with Spencer Fano, another offensive tackle, but it's what they need, just like the Lions. Next up, we have Dallas's second first-round pick. Now, Dallas was fiending to get their hands on the edge rusher last year after they traded their top edge rusher. But I don't really understand Jerry Jones. I think they're going to take Akeem Mesidor because they need an edge rusher. So you can't really overthink that too much. Next up, we got the Steelers. The Steelers need a quarterback, but there's no other good quarterback worth taking. They also need a wide receiver. The Steelers also need an offensive guard. They don't really need a wide receiver anymore because I guess they do have Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf. They're not in that big of need of wide receiver. So I think they just take Oliva Vega alone because they need an offensive guard. And I don't even know. I know he played for Penn State, and that's pretty much it. But, again, I'm a casual for college football. But next up, we got the Chargers. Chargers need a safety and a corner. So you could really go Emmanuel McNeil-Warren or Avion Terrell. But I think Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is the better player. So I think that's who they're going to take. Okay, next up, we got the Eagles. The Eagles need an edge rusher. They don't really... if they trade A.J. Brown, which it could happen, they wouldn't need a wide receiver. They don't really need a tight end, but they do need safety. There's not really... there's an edge rusher up here. The Eagles, I know now. The Eagles are a well put together team. It's just the coaching issues that really suck. But I think they'd take Kendrick Folk. It is a very real chance that they could trade A.J. Brown on draft night, in which case they might go with Denzel Boston or Omar Cooper Jr., but I think they'd just select Kendrick Folk. That's who I think they'd go with. Next up, we got the Browns. Now, the Browns, I already had them taking Jordan Tyson, so they wouldn't take Denzel Boston or Omar Cooper Jr. They could take Avion Terrell. They could also take... They don't really need D-line help. I think they would go with Caleb Lomu, because they are in desperate need of offensive line. So I think they'd take Caleb Lomu. Next up, we got the Bears. The Bears don't really need a wide receiver. They got Odunze and Burden. They do need some defense. They do need some defense help. Their defensive line room is really bad, so I think they would go with Cade McDonald in this one. He's the top-ranked defensive lineman, so I think that's good for them. I think they'd go with Cade McDonald, improve their D lineman room a lot. Next up, we got the Bills. Now the Bills, they do have DJ Moore, but they do still need a wide receiver. They also need an edge rusher, so you could go Zion Young or Denzel Boston or Omar Cooper Jr. But I think they would double up on wide receiver. I think they're going to take Denzel Boston from Washington. Pair him with DJ Moore because DJ Moore is getting a little bit older. But you got to give Josh Allen more weapons than Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman. Next up, we got the 49ers. The 49ers need an edge rusher. So I think they would take Zion Young to pair him up with Nick Bosa. That would make that defensive line very, very scary. I will say that. Next up, we got the Texans. the Texans need offensive line, but next best offensive lineman is Chase. I don't even want to pronounce that last name. I don't think you need defense, though. I mean, you could go with a wide receiver, but I think your wide receiver room is fine. You could go with a D tackle. You could go with Peter Woods. You don't need an edge rusher. You don't need a corner. I think you could go with Peter Woods. Boost that D-line a little bit, and adding Peter Woods to a D-line room with Will Anderson and someone else, I don't remember the name, that would make it very scary. Now the Chiefs desperately need a corner. They also need a wide receiver. I have them taking Ruben Bay Jr. with their first round pick. So I think you go offense here. I think you go with Omar Cooper Jr. They need a wide receiver. They got Rashee Rice. They don't have Hollywood Brown anymore. They do have Xavier Worthy, but I think you'd go with another wide receiver in Omar Cooper Jr. Next up, we got the Dolphins' next pick. Dolphins, I mean, anything. Just give me the best ranked player, Avion Terrell. Why not? Next up, we got the Patriots. The Patriots, I could also see them taking wide receiver, but the best one is Zachariah Branch. So I don't think you'd reach that far. They do need edge help, so I think you just go with Cassius Howell for this one. And then Seattle. Seattle needs a running back, but there's no good running backs. They need an edge rusher, and they need some offensive line help. But they do need a cornerback because they lost Reek Williams. Okay, Loki, I think they would go with Colton Hood because it says they need a corner. I don't know. I think you just go best player available at that point. Okay, guys, so that is my official 2026 mock draft. Lock it in. Now, as I did say, the top 10 could go any possible way you could think of. Like, I do have the Giants taking Carnell Tate or Sonny Styles, but they could also take Jordan Tyson and Jeremiah Love, or Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs, or Francis Mauigoa and Mansour Delane. Like, there's really no set order that I think the first top 10 could go. So that's just my thoughts. If you enjoy, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn that notification bell so you never miss a future episode. And I'll see you next time.